Andrew Faust here, Center for Bioregional Living. I thought we've been talking about energy and different orders of energy. I thought I'd talk about energy with the fire burning for our maple watering. You know, a lot of people talk about how renewable energy that's natural, free energy coming from the sun, coming from the wind, coming from tidal forces, coming from the decomposition of food scraps and from sewage treatment systems. All of this free energy purportedly cannot meet the wonders of power that are supplied right now from fossil fuels, which contaminate us, exploit us, and put us at odds with one another over its toxic legacy that requires that we be mining it in landscapes that are far from where we are. It's important to recognize that there are over 12 trillion watts of energy coming from the sun annually falling on the earth, and we use maybe about 40-some billion watts. And even if we doubled those numbers, we would find that all the natural energy forces on the earth that daily are available far exceed the energies required by our homes, by our infrastructures. And it's really a opportunity for growth of what we want to see, which is an economy that's based on intelligent design, good design, well thought out, thoroughly researched design that says, why would we create a toxic legacy, pollute air, water, and soil, and leave future generations to clean up radioactive waste dumps just to have light bulbs, refrigerators, and dinner at night? This makes no design sense when every day the earth has available trillions of watts of energy coming from the sun and coming from gravity and coming from solar thermal effects on the atmosphere and the rotation of the planet and the movements in outer space. These are all untapped energy forces. And the reality is trees grow and do an incredible job of sequestering solar income every single day and grow more and more for hundreds of years and create inheritances that are actually available to future generations as assets to improve their lives upon, rather than a huge hole in the ground that contaminated a river and left nothing but a wasteland of maybe one species of tree that can grow there, like birch tree. So ultimately, when we look at energy and sustainability of the quality of life that we want, we need to recognize there's a direct relationship between population, energy consumption, and gross domestic product. And if you looked at the relationship between these three variables, instead of getting myopic about population and population and population and saying, oh, how are we going to feed all the people, empower all the people, and start to realize that in fact 1/3 of the world uses 2/3 of the world's natural resources and energy resources, and it uses these fossil fuel reserves of coal, oil, and uranium at the expense of future generations and present. So the true cost of all of these fossil fuels is short-term and self-destructive. And only a small percentage of the world's population, in terms of the 7+ billion that are on the earth today, actually are really depending upon these fossil fuels for their highly consumptive lifestyles. And so if we compared India to Europe, in particular the UK and the United States, we would see that when we look at energy, GNP, and population numbers, we would see that Europe has a fairly small population, a fairly high GNP, and a fairly low energy consumption. And we would see that the United States has a fairly small population, a fairly medium-sized GNP, and very high energy consumption. And when you look at India, you would see that India has a large population, medium-sized GNP, and very small energy consumption. So you need to compare at least three variables, like how are we going to feed people, fuel people, and ultimately provide a better life is going to come from looking at ecological health, social health, as well as something that makes financial viability over the long run, which self-toxification and destruction through the consumption and use of oil, gas, and coal, and uranium do not make long-term sense. And transforming our economy to pay attention to those assets that slip through our fingers every single day and make us look like fools as we piddle away our lives extracting and mining these toxic materials when we could be powering our lives with the sun, with the movement of the planets, with the ocean, and with wind, and with the elegance of the microbial world providing us with these anaerobic and gaseous emissions that we can use for all kinds of power sources as well.